Okay, so now what we're working on is we're working on combining a couple of things here, but we're going to go ahead and write linear equations using the standard form. And we've already done this a bit, but we've talked about slope-intercept form, we've talked about point-slope form, so we're going to get back to standard form right now. And again, for standard form, just as a reminder, standard form looks like this. AX plus BY is equal to C. So let's give this a shot. It says here, write two equations in standard form that are equivalent to this here. 3x minus 9y is equal to 12. So all we're doing is we're writing equations that are like it. One way of doing that is by multiplying everything times 1/3. 3 times 1/3 is 1, so that's why we get the 1x there. 9 times 1/3 is 3, so that's why we end up with that. 12 times 1/3 is 4. So that's why we end up with that. And I actually think this is easier, just multiplying by 2. You end up with 3x, 18y, and 24. So the same sort of thing. If I were to do for this problem here, all I'm going to do is, well, if I multiply both sides by 2, I'm just going to say, well, it's now 12x plus 4y is equal to 16. If I multiply everything by 2, these are equivalent equations. They are equal to each other. And then if I divide both sides by 2, I end up with 3x plus y is equal to 4. Down here, write two equations in standard form that are equivalent to x plus 4y is equal to 3. Same thing if I multiply both sides, let's say by 5. 5x plus 20y is equal to 15. There, that's one. If I divide both sides by 3, that's going to be x divided by 3 plus 4/3 y is equal to 1. So that's just how you do this sort of problem. I think those ones there are pretty easy. If we write the equation in standard form of a line shown, what we're going to do is we're going to figure out the slope of the line if we're given the points. We're going to use the point slope line formula first, and then we're going to go from there and transfer that into standard form. So what they did here was, first of all, figured out the slope. Then after they figured out the slope, they set it up in the right point slope form. Then after that, what they did was they got it so that the things were on the right side of the equation, and then they're done. So we're going to do a couple of examples like this. For here, this problem here, I can figure out slope if I want to. I always like to do it this way if I can. It's easy. The slope is going to be, well, it's negative, and it's 2 over for every 1, 2, 3, 4. For every 4 down, so it's going to be negative 2 is going to be the slope. So now I've got y, I'm going to use this as my point for point slope form. Y minus 2 is equal to negative 2 times x minus 2. Now I got to multiply that out. Y minus 2 is equal to negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 kind of like times subtracting 2, so it's just going to be like a negative times negative, so it's plus 4. So now I'm going to start combining these things and moving them all over the place. So I got to move this over here, I move this over here. When I do that, I end up with subtracting 2x from both sides, or adding 2x to both sides. So that's why I end up with 2x plus y. And then when I add 2 to both sides, I'm going to end up with equal to 6. So another one here, I'm going to go ahead and figure out the slope of this quickly. 2 minus 4 over 8 minus 4. So that's going to be negative 2 over 4. So the slope is going to be negative 1/2. So now I'm just going to go ahead and plug in one point and pull the point slope form. Minus 2 is equal to negative 1/2. So I choose this point here times x minus 8. So now I've got to distribute that negative 1/2. So it's going to be y minus 2 equal to negative 1/2 x, negative times a negative plus 4. So now I've got to move things around a little bit. I've got to move this over here and move this over here. Actually, I've got to move this over here. That's right. So now I'm going to add 1/2 x to both sides. So 1/2 x plus y is equal to, and I've got to add 2 to both sides to get rid of this subtracting 2. So adding 2 to 4 is going to give me 6. And this problem here, I think you'll probably choose to do that one in class, just to make sure it makes sense. Find the missing coefficient in the equation of the line shown. Write the completed equation. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to take this point here and start plugging it in. We got an x value, we got a y value. This is the equation, and we're trying to figure out the value of a. So when we do that, we plug in 2 there and 0 there in the equation, and we're going to end up with a is equal to 3. So 3 is going to be the value that goes right there, because that's what a was. So it says here, write the equation of line. Line A's equation is going to be, well, it's straight up and down. It's actually x is equal to, remember, for a vertical line from 2, 3, 4, 5, x is equal to negative 5. For B, it's going to be 3 up, so y is going to be equal to 3. Write the equation that horizontal and vertical lines are passed through the given point. These ones here are super easy. And x is equal to negative 2. You can see where you get those from, I'm pretty sure. So x is equal to 7, and y is equal to negative 2, and x is equal to negative 1, y is equal to 5. So it says here the graph of 5x plus by is equal to 6 is the line that passes through the point 2, 1. Find the missing coefficient, then write the completed equation. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take these points and put them into that equation. So it's going to be 5 times 2 plus b times 1 in this case here. I'm not going to keep this in right here, but is equal to 6. So this is going to be 10 plus b is equal to 6. So b is going to be equal to negative 4. Plug it back in. So now I've got my equation 5x minus 4y is equal to 6. Same idea here. I'm going to do one more of these just to make sure it makes sense. Here, I've got my point, find the missing coefficient, I'm just plugging those in. So it's going to be a times 4 plus 5 times 3 is equal to 7. So it's going to be 4a plus 15 is equal to 7. Move this over there, and you end up with 4a is equal to negative 8. A is equal to negative 2. So my equation is now going to be negative 2a plus 5y, negative 2a, negative 2x. Let me rewrite that. I messed up because I'm writing both of things. I'll just write it up right up here. So it's going to be negative 2x plus 5y is equal to 7. And that's my answer. So again, this here's a problem we'll go over in class, but hopefully this all makes sense. And don't forget to answer the questions at the end.